All right, so we are answering questions from exercise 10D. We're looking at question 3B. So 3 letters are chosen at random from the word heart and arranged in a row. Find the probability that the letter H is chosen. Now, again, when we're doing probability, it's very important that you pay attention to the words being used. It's just telling us that H is chosen, which communicates to me that the order doesn't matter. Order does not matter. Now, if the order doesn't matter, is it a permutation or combination question? It is a combination question. The order does not matter. Now, it is also a probability question, so we're not simply finding all the different combinations that include the letter H. What we're doing is we're taking all those combinations which contain the letter H and dividing them over the unrestricted combinations, just all the combinations all together. Okay, so as you see, I've broken this down into first finding what the restricted is, and what I mean by restricted is when H is chosen, and then we're going to divide that by the unrestricted. So what does it mean if H is chosen? Well, as I said, what we're doing here is a combination question. So what we could think about this is simply, well, if H is chosen, what that means is that it's going to be C. Well, I have one H, so that means my N is 1, and I'm putting it into one position. And then I'm going to multiply that by, well, now that one of my letters is gone, I now have 4 left. Ooh, my computer doesn't want to work with me. I have 4 letters left, so my N is now 4, and I have 2 positions that I'm trying to fill. And that will give me the answer that I'm after. So I could come here, and I could grab my CAS, and I could go. Now, you can also type in, if you want to do a bit quicker, NCR. And then brackets. Oh, that's a C. Like, why didn't that work? NCR, and then it's going to be 1, 1 multiplied by NCR, brackets, 4, 2, close brackets, enter, 6. So I come over here, if my computer wants to work, and I'm going to write 6, and then I get my highlighter, and I put that in there. Then next is my unrestricted. So my unrestricted is simply going to be, I have 5 letters I'm choosing from. I'm putting them into 3 spots. What's that going to be? I grab out my trusty CAS and I go NCR 5 and 3. Whoops. Enter 10. So then I come here and I put in 10. I get my green highlighter. I highlight that. And it's going to be 6 over 10, which is the same as 3 over 5. And let me just double check this. Did the answer, no, the back of the book does not have it in a fraction. It has a decimal, 0.6. So that is the answer they give you in the back of the book, 0.6. Let me come here. Now, before we stop, I want to talk about another way you could answer this question. So there is another way you could approach this. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to put down a line, and I'm going to talk about this other way. Now, the other way you could talk about this is saying, well, the probability that H is chosen is going to be equal to 1 minus the probability that it is not chosen. H is not chosen. So now what I have to do is find out this probability right here. And let me get a new color highlighter. Let me highlight this in. The only other color highlight I have is pink, and pink is just an awful thing to highlight in because it's too dark, but we have no other options. So we're going to leave it like that. So now I need to figure out what the probability of H is not chosen. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, well, the probability, actually, instead of rewriting it again, let me simply highlight this. So now I need to figure out what this is, which is going to be equal to, as always, restricted over unrestricted, restricted over unrestricted, equals, get my highlighters, green, blue. Let's talk about what it means if it's restricted. If it is restricted, I come here, this is blue. It's going to be, well, If H is not chosen, let me just finish this off. Remember, I have the word heart. So if H is not chosen, that means I can't choose the letter H, which means I have 4 letters that I'm trying to put into 3 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4 letters that I'm trying to put into 3 spots. I come over here, I come to my CAS, I go NCR 4, 3, whoops, brackets, come on. I have all these chords on my keyboard. 4. So it's going to be 4. Now I know what my unrestricted is. I don't need to do that again. So let me just come over here, steal that, come over here, put it there. That's going to be my unrestricted. I need to highlight this in blue. So it's going to be 4 over 10. And actually, let me not simplify it. Let me leave it like that. Green. Because then I come over here and I say, all right, well, this is going to therefore equal the probability that H is chosen is 1 minus this pink thing, probably H is not chosen, which you know is 4 over 10. So it's going to be 1 minus 4 over 10, which is going to be, drum roll, 6 over 10, or 0.6. Now that should be familiar to you, because that is what we found in our previous question. Sorry, not the previous question. That's what we found over here. So there are 2 ways of going about it. So obviously you would only have to do one of these ways. Please don't do both of them in the test. You only have a limited amount of time in the test. But hopefully you can see, here we got 0.6. Here we got 0.6. So it's whichever way you think is the better way to go about it. But both of them get you the same answer. In the next video, I will talk about part C.